Hello, welcome to a new video. Today's video of Drana and Linvala is brought to you by my latest YouTube channel member, and they go by the name of Snow White Queen. So thank you so much for joining the channel, and in doing so she has unlocked a custom video, and this is the commander that she has chosen, which is very cool because I haven't done it before. Don't forget, if you want to get your own custom video, check out the details below, become a channel member, become a Patreon member, and you can get one of these yourself. But yes, looking at Drana and Linvala, it's a really cool combination of, well, literally Drana and Linvala. It's proved to be very difficult to make this effective because Drana and Linvala doesn't actually impact the field when they land. So it was very difficult to make it basically win games, essentially is what I'm trying to say. Interestingly, they stop activated abilities of creatures your opponents control. Now, rather weirdly, it actually stops mana abilities, I think, as well. I was playing a game and my opponent wasn't able to use their mana elves. And I know this because they had a card in the hand that I saw that was in the hand from the Thoughtseize, and they just weren't able to play it, which I felt was interesting because normally this ability stops people doing things apart from mana abilities. I guess it's a bit too broken on the cards, but here it seems fairly fair because it doesn't really do much else. It feels green in a way because opponents will use a lot of mana dorks, and Drana and Linvala can actually tap for mana if your opponent has green stuff. So it's kind of it's really weird. It's really had to make my brain work really hard. Initially, this build it's gone through quite a few different builds. I initially thought it was going to be an Angel build, and then it went to more control-y build with a bit of Voltron elements, and now I've kind of gone half and half, and I've got a few Angels and a few control elements. So there's only 10 Angels in the deck, but that could be technically enough to call tribal in some cases. It's really difficult. In other words, I don't know how else to say it. It's just, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So the deck has to pull a lot of weight. The reason it's going to struggle is because the 4 mana slot is quite coveted these days in terms of commanders. And commanders have to be the baseline power of Rusko to really stand a chance a lot of the time. If you want to go with the higher tiers. Or even deal with, Mythweaver Park or other things. So it's certainly a challenge. In terms of the contents of the deck, we have a few cards which are Angel support. So Giada helps you get Drana and Linvala out a bit faster, as well as the 2 mana rocks. We've got Arcane Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Solar Transformer. So getting her out early can be okay with swords because she's got Vigilance, which makes her a really good attacker and defender with a couple swords here. Forge, Frontier, Once and Future. We have Righteous Valkyrie, which can make your team bigger whenever an Angel comes in. You gain life equal to their toughness. Resplendent Angel gives you angels whenever you gain life. And then we have the really cool synergy of Gisela and Bruna, and they flip into Brazella, which I actually managed to do that the other day, which is kind of cool. Interestingly enough, it was with, where is she? Professor Onyx's ability +1. So I looked at the top 3, and there was a Bruna in the hand. There was a Gisela in the hand and something else. But because Onyx says put the rest in the graveyard, it worked out perfectly. I had 7 mana as well. So Gisela went to the graveyard, I cast Bruna, which brings back an Angel, and then it flipped, which was kind of epic. But I think, crazily enough, I still managed to lose that game, which is a bit sad. But yeah, it's a really tricky deck. I think a lot hinges on the commander. And yeah, it was definitely a challenge. So I hope you enjoyed the video, Snow White Queen. It was probably one of the hardest decks I've made, even harder than my recent Ajani video that I really struggled to make. That one was super tough. Because I feel like the issue with here is I just don't have enough finishes. And that's why a lot of the time I include the Citadel, Aetherflux, Reservoir combo to try and go off. But we also have the Bruna to maybe flip into Brazella. It's your call where you take this. I don't think I've ever been so stumped. It's because her abilities... It's a silver bullet, right? So a silver bullet is something that stops something in particular. But if that's built into a commander and your opponent isn't doing anything with activated abilities, which is kind of rare, it doesn't do anything at all. And Magic design philosophy over the past 5 years has shifted heavily away from activated abilities, or at least having them complement something else really powerful. Like Atali obviously has an activated, but people rarely use it because the triggered ability is so good. We're turned into a lot more of a faster game. Granted, activated abilities are always risky because you pay the cost. If someone kills it in response, it feels so shit. Like if you're trying to flip a bonus Ravager or any flip walker with an activation cost, it can feel really rough. But your magic's evolved to a position where your commander can't really be silver bullets like this. So if you do like Drana and Linvala, you have to really be in it for the artwork or the flavour or the lore, because the abilities just, frankly, aren't good enough to really compete in the upper echelons. But that's fine, because, as I said, I've tried to make the 99 fairly powerful. We'll see how it goes. I'm not going to promise, like, annihilation for my opponents, but it should be interesting to see how we can take a mid commander and see if we actually deal any damage with it.
Huh. What is it, Atakan?
Hey Snake, have you thought about getting some more subs and some views?
Yeah, we could do some new subs. How are they gonna do that?
Yeah, you can just do that below.
Go ahead and click like and subscribe below.
Okay, I kind of want to keep this hand because I know that the Samwise deck is going to go wide with all the food tokens, and having the Wrath of the Skies does blow everything up. So this might become pretty useful, even if the rest of the hand isn't so great. Interestingly, our Drana can use Samwise's ability of sacking 3 foods, but it's unlikely that we're really ever going to get that. See how this goes. Samwise is one of those decks that you can definitely underestimate. Wrath of the Skies does not kill Planeswalker, so it could be safe to, like, rush out the Archangel Elspeth. Tick her up. Even if we do kill stuff, you know, she can bring them back anyway. Looks like they're an eggs deck. Let's do it. If we kill the eggs, that could be beneficial too. So turn 3, Elspeth. Could be nice. Getting that angel theme. Thalia? Okay. Makes stuff more expensive. Oh no, sorry, it makes our creatures come in tap, doesn't it? So let's just take her out, because she is going to make it a bit annoying to block and stuff with the Archangel Elspeth. So let's just keep progressing the board here. Interesting to see Thalia in a food deck. It's not something that you would really expect to see. Frodo and Sam, the ultimate combination. Okay. They're blocking both. No F's given there. Maximum CMC 2. We might as well pay for 3 anyway and just use the 2. That's really going to help us out a bit. And we have a residual energy left over for... There's a couple reasons we might want to use it in the deck. We have a mana rock that uses that. Provisioner. And is it going to make mana or food? Adeline. Ooh, okay. She's kind of annoying, right? I think we take her out. Let's just keep ticking up here. And I really want to get a way to draw some extra cards, because the issue with this deck is we run out of energy really quick. Sack 3 food, return a historic card from graveyard to hand. Oof, okay. So they've rebuilt their field really quick there. Rated abilities. So if we play Drana, they can't actually use either of these abilities, so they might want to think about using the Haywire Might now. Okay. Getting a bit of life as well. In a way, The Haywire Mite is like a food because they gained 3 life. Ooh, Aurelius Vindicator, that's cool. Let's go for Drana first. 2 counters here. Might as well start swinging a little bit. Getting a bit of life back. So what's the worst case scenario? I'm not too sure. Kogler, that's pretty bad. Yeah, that's annoying. That is annoying. And I guess we just block there as well. And the Kogler doesn't have trample actually, which is kind of interesting. Vanishing Verse, well that's a nice answer. Let's get rid of that. Make another creature. And then we will disguise this weird angel that is actually a lot better than people give it credit for, I think. The fact it's a 4-2 lifelink Ward 2 is pretty epic. It already has Ward 2 on the floor. Feasting Troll King, ugh. That is pretty gross. Activated ability of creatures your opponents control. So it doesn't actually work for the graveyard, I don't think. Swords, I think, well, we're just kind of safe anyway, aren't we? So no graveyard. No creatures at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we just do that now? Maybe? They're going to get loads of foods. I don't really know. They can get it back from the graveyard. 5, 6. Yeah, let's just QQ here. 3, 4, 5, 6. So turn face up. 3, 4, 5, 6. So pay 2. One and 2. So it's only a temporary removal spell. They can get back Frodo Baggins or Thalia until this leaves the battlefield. Kind of cool. This also gets stuff back from your graveyard or your... Yeah, there's just a lot of different applications you can use for the Aurelius Vindicator. Okay, temporarily get rid of those. But yeah, the life gain is going to be pretty awesome here. If they have a board wipe, that will be bad though. Golden Egg. Okay. War of the Lost Alliance. Elish Norn. Oh no, that's not good. That is really, really not good. That's going to kill so many of our things. But we do have the sword, so... Right, we're going to make the Vindicator a bit bigger here.
You've earned my blessing.
So we're going to lose 2 things, but... That's fine. Down to 8. Which is... So we... Yeah, we're basically going to lose Elspeth here. But on the swing back, we should have them. They were saying that the swords gives them 4 life back. Yeah, this is a tricky one indeed. What legendary creature could they get here that would save them? And that's the scary part. But I feel like Elish Norn is already the best thing they can currently do. Kill 2 things. Deflate 3 things. And the next phase, creatures you control gain double strike. Now, bear in mind, this is all creatures, not just legends, which is interesting because the first 2 phases only care about legends. So, I guess the flavour is they're getting a king and a queen or 2 royalty members, and then, yeah. And then everything hits you hard. So, Elish Norn comes in. Sadly, because of state-based effects, we aren't going to get to respond, so our things will just die instantly. but they should be dead on the swing back, I do believe. Having 42 life is quite nice, though. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could protect the Elspeth here, but I think it's just better if we get rid of the Elishnorn and hit them on the way back. And actually, Elspeth is left at 1, so
I won't be intimidated.
we'll make a 1-1. And that is lethal, I think.
Fight together.
Exacxies again. Okay, nice. That was pretty close, though. I feel like our whole game plan there hinged on Archangel Elspeth. But without this, they definitely would have won that, because we would have lost the Vindicator. We would have lost... Well, we wouldn't have had these two to start with. So the pressure that she gave by the counters was actually pretty instrumental in us winning that. Going up against Necro Bloom, which is a tried and tested, very powerful commander, considering it hasn't been out that long. It's definitely one of the scary ones out there, just because it works with, you know, landfall. And landfall is pretty easy to get off, because everybody plays lands, believe it or not. Unless you're playing Manaless Dredge in Modern, which is a very peculiar deck that doesn't use any lands at all, conventionally. I don't really want to get into that, because it's hard to explain if you're new to Magic. But if you played Modern a while, you might understand what Manaless Dredge is. It's such a weird deck. Pretty powerful as well. So we could kill the Augur, but we could also go for Drana. I just want to get out some pressure here, because when the Necro Bloom comes down, we're going to have to compete with its landfall. I mean, if they play it here, they can't actually play land anyway, so... Binding the Old Gods. So which one are they going to target? I guess it doesn't really matter either way. We might as well crack the Boromir. Yeah, that's a shame. But at least we get to keep Drana. Okay. Which kill spell do we want to use? We'll use that, because if they play an Angel, Demon, Devil, whatever, and we can target that afterwards. So you might see the issue here with Drana is that 3-4 Vigilance is just kind of... It's really difficult to be threatening. It needed something else. Are they going to get a bloody... Oh, gross. Okay, so they are going to get... Let's kill it in response here. Not that it really matters too much, but... They've got so many cards in their hand as well, and I can almost guarantee more removal is on its way. Missed the mana for Professor Onyx, which is a shame. But we got more removal, I suppose. We just get Death Touch, so we don't want to block that for any reason. Primeval Titan. Oh, no. Let's kill that. So many cards that make me question, you know, the fact that Titan's banned in Commander is always one of the biggest, you know, one of the biggest questions I have for the design team is why. But, you know, it's one of the questions that will never be answered, so I'm just going to have to get to grips with the fact. Now, if we don't get a 6th land, we probably just die here. 2 fetches. Because they've got 8 mana, they will be able to do so much now. And we're probably just going to get 1 card out of the Onyx.
New life, new opportunity.
Black Market Connections.
I have
Okay, so they have casualties. We just lose, I reckon. And they always have casualties, don't they? They always have casualties. So they get 3, 4, 5, 6. They could go for Necro Bloom, get 2 fetches, play something else. But we do have the final showdown, so if things do go horribly wrong, we can blow up all their creatures. And even make them lose abilities, which could be important if they have death triggers. It's kind of a nice addition to a board wipe. So they're playing the Ramming Up Excavator before... Oh, okay. Terra Sunder, that really does suck. That really does suck indeed. Well, let's hope they don't have removal for the Black Market Connections. Yeah, I don't know what really went wrong here. I guess they had... The sad thing is, we had so much good removal too. 1, 2, 3. We've just used it all, and we've not really managed to get too far ahead. They've managed to get value, kill and ramp, ramp and kill. So I guess the diversity there is working on their side. And then they also seem to have 6 cards in their hand, which is kind of brutal. I do wonder how the mathematical logistics works out sometimes. We've used 6 cards. 6, 7, 8. I don't know. It's just the way it is, right? Their deck obviously just has a lot more recursion, and they play stuff off the top. So now they're going to start to get zombies. I kind of just want them to play more creatures, to be honest. They shocked that in. Taking them to 6. Wow. 5. That's interesting. Scoot Swarm. Well, that's interesting because we can take care of all of their stuff. And we don't really care too much. Okay. Oh, that's terrible. Man, we are not drawing well this game. Just a land. Do they have any reach? Interesting. Does that mean we just win then? This deals 2 when it attacks. And they don't have any flyers. So this is Exaxes. And if anything goes wrong here, we just blow up the field with Wrath of God. Wow. I'm very surprised by that. I wonder... This is one of those games where I just really would love to see what was in their hand. Unless they just didn't realise the Restless Fortress was lethal. Maybe they just didn't read that ability. But it was on the field for a whole turn, so that it's not like we surprised them with it. And they know we had the flyers. So unless they forgot about the land, maybe they just had... Maybe they had like a Crater Hoof in the hand and they just felt like taking a risk and missed the fortress. But that would have been one of those interesting games to see where they went wrong. If it was just hubris, arrogance, forgetfulness, we'll never know, sadly. Right, let's go. This is a pretty good starting hand. Thoughtseize, always lovely to have. It gives you a bit of an overview of the upcoming game. Is this going to be very spammy? Artifact spam, left, right, center, above, below, beneath, within. Why don't we get rid of their only artifact? Now what do they copy? Oh, they got the land, haven't they? They can copy the land. That's actually pretty good. But it's, let's face it, it's going to be the same as a land anyway. Just that's my more expensive land, isn't it? We did that. We can get ourselves... No, that's not too exciting. There's no pressure really, although the Tempest Steel is kind of powerful. We can deal with Urza. We have to feed the swarm here. That's a really good hit to get as well. Because he just makes everything cheaper, he flips. We don't want that to happen at all. Because it's just a bit scary when he becomes a Planeswalker. Ooh, yes. I love resolving this Elspeth. She's very cool. Especially with 2 3-drops in her hand. So if these die, she can return them back. Eventually. They discarded a White Sun's Twilight. Okay, I can't believe it. Tapped Power Stone. Okay.
The Thran still have secrets to uncover.
This flickers. Oh no, it brings something back. Okay. What do we do then? Do we go for... Let's go for the Valkyrie. I'm not too worried about boosting out the gates with the Dark Ritual just yet.
Spread your wings.
I am concerned with killing the Kana because he's going to give them mana, which is a lot.
Budge.
Or we could... I guess we could Dark Ritual into the Power Stone. Yeah, fine. I convinced myself. We can play the Lisa next turn anyway. Regardless of what we just did there. Chimmel. Oh dear. Chimmel's going to be very annoying.
Dominarius
Discover
treasures
5.
aid us in our
Okay. Vanishing Verse is going to be very ineffective here, sadly. Do we go for Drana? No, I want to get some mana, I think. Take action. Surveil land, please. Oh, flip a deck. We need some power on top. Okay. So finish Khan off, and then we'll go in over the top. Hopefully they don't have any board wipes, but if they do, they do.
We must
Sadly, the Vanishing Verse hits absolutely nothing on their side of the field. If we have 7 life more than Sato, our creatures get +2/+2. That is gonna... It's kind of like a one-sided Alishinon at that point, isn't it? So if we get to 32 life. Gain life equal to creature's toughness. So either Angel will gain us a fair bit. Oh, fateful absence.
I have given everything.
Let's draw. Come on, we need to get some more advantage. Please. Well, that ain't going to be very exciting. What do they get? They get a Myrel. Oof. Okay. It's good, but it's not the end of the world. Sarah Paragon. Okay. Let's go for Lisa. So Lisa's good because she lets us return stuff back to our hand if it dies. I think, you know what, we will Vanishing Verse that, actually. That's a bit of a godsend because we don't want to not be able to cast spells in their turn. It's basically like a huge Grand Abolisher. What's the wording? Can't cast spells, activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, and charms. Okay. Yeah, that was actually super lucky we could have killed that. Because she makes artifacts. Nice. 15. So our creatures now have the huge buff. So we have lethal on board. Lethal on board. Now they do have a board wipe. The Lisa does actually return the Valkyrie and the Jumper to the hand. So she makes it very, very difficult for our opponents here. Unless they ever fare well. If they ever fare well, then we lose everything. And then we're screwed. I do like this Urza, though. They're going to return a Power Stone, which is a flying blocker, which is quite funny. They get a Liquid Metal Coating. Okay. Let's get a Drana. So we're going to... so now they can't use Steel Overseer's ability, but we can. That's quite funny, actually. So they're going to discover very quickly that they cannot pump their team. Down to 3. We're up to 55 life, which is crazy. Are we just being baited, though? Is it just going to be a huge farewell? If it is, we're screwed. Oh, is it going to be settle the wreckage? Or maybe they're just trying to see what this would have actually gotten them. So they could just have settle the wreckage. Right, so to get around that, let's just swing with these guys. This ain't my first rodeo. Oh, destroy all creatures. Touche. Oh no, should have probably said no for that one. Oh, so actually, if she dies at the same time, we don't see it together. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Hey, we can deal with the Chimil now. Chimil. And yeah, okay. So we're in a very, very good situation here. Energy. Right, so how do they get out of this? I guess, again, Farewell does that because they exile all enchantments, artifacts. Or they could maybe go for Urza and some copying. I think it's 10 mana for that, though. Blimey. 7/7 can't, okay. I can't believe it. Let's go all three. We've got so much life to play with here. So it looks like I was wrong with Elisa. I was thinking that we would get them back, but clearly not. Skyclave Apparition. Boromir. Temple. What's next? Anything else? No. Okay, we'll start playing stuff from the graveyard then. Go for the Valkyrie. Which actually still has the passive boost. So we can actually swing in next turn with just a 5/4 and force them to block. But at this point, we just win with the Citadel, right? Steel Seraph, yeah. I could have just sat stuff with the Citadel there. Damn. That was pretty good. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.